Wichita, always live on the free Odyssey app.
It's the weirdest thing. I feel like I've been in a coma for about 20 years, and I'm just now waking up.
This is the Bob and Jeff Show, starring Bob Lutz.
I remember playing some of my best ball when it was freezing outside.
Best what ball?
Anything that involved the ball, I played it.
Jeff Lutz.
Again, you played your best ball by yourself? I assume most people do. You've never got your shot blocked playing by yourself.
97.5 and 1240 KFH.
It's the ball.
Learn it. Know it. Live it.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, the Bob and Jeff Show on KFH Radio. Tomorrow on the show, Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com. We'll talk some K-State football. They're getting ready to host Baylor coming up Saturday. And on Friday, John Kirby from Jayhawk Slant. The Jayhawks will be in Lawrence to face Texas Tech coming up on Saturday as well. So we would expect both of our state teams to survive those games, although in the Big 12 you never quite know for sure, do you?
Not really, but some things you can almost sort of count on.
And then a week later, we've got the Sunflower Showdown.
Biggest one in years.
Who wins that game?
I'm hard-pressed to not say KU at this point. But it's going to be a war. It's going to be knock down, drag out affair.
Can't wait for it.
Not a literal war, of course.
Looking forward to it. You are aware that I went 8-1 in my picks last week, correct?
Yeah, but you didn't do any damage. I went 6-3, a lot of points. Still right there with it. Not a big problem.
You are aware that Duda beat me in fantasy football.
No.
I may have the worst fantasy team ever assembled. And people say, well, you never talk about it because you don't want to admit that. I talk about it.
Who said that?
Oh, people.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Well, good for them. I like when you get called out for that kind of stuff.
What can I say?
I don't know. Why is your team so bad?
I picked a bad team, and I haven't been able to fix it. And the trade I thought would help with Mahomes helped you. You scored 1 million points thanks to C.J. Stroud.
Well, C.J. Stroud just went ahead of Mahomes in points.
Yeah. Here's where we are. After 10 weeks, I lead at 43-38. You lead in overall picks. You're 45-36. I have the points lead at 204 to your 198. Max in there at 183. And Duda at 164.
How many points did I have last week?
You had 31.
How many did you have?
I had 38.
So
you led me by a point going into this week. I now lead you by 6.
This is all very... I wonder what Max has. I'm kind of going with his totals at this point.
Well, I don't care what you're going with. These are the totals. You led me by a point. I beat you by 7 points this week. I lead you by 6 points now.
Well, that's
what's hard to understand.
That's what the math is over the last 2 weeks, but who knows what the math was before that.
I went 8-1 for 38 points.
Congratulations.
You went 6-3 for 31 points. Duda 4-5 for 20 points. Max 6-3, but he missed his big game.
So did I. I missed my 9 with Georgia.
Well, too bad.
Georgia.
Well, I got a lot of feedback on that one.
From who?
I was adamant about Missouri, and none of you folks gave me any credit.
Well, I don't know what to think of Georgia. It seems like they could win by 30 if they wanted to. I don't know what
it had nothing to do with Georgia. Missouri's a better football team. I tried telling you that. I gave it my best. It fell on deaf ears.
I thought you just were enjoying saying Eli Drinkwitz. I didn't know that you meant that.
I've actually watched Missouri play a couple and a half games this year. I don't know why. It's just kind of fallen in for me. I've watched more college football this year.
I wish I liked college football, but man, every year I try. It's just not there for me.
I don't know why you don't like college football.
You know what? Here's something I'm going to say that might not strike the fancy of many
Well,
people.
I don't think you need to
Football
say it.
in general, I'm losing interest in year by year.
Well, I don't have near the interest in football that I have in baseball or basketball. But I was able to cover football on a level that drew me in. It was fun covering K-State and being around that.
I get it.
And going to those games. And that made me more of a football fan. The year KU went to the Orange Bowl, I had to that was a blast.
It was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Doesn't seem like that long, but it was now
It's a long time ago.
17 years ago.
No, it wasn't
16
17
years ago.
It was at the end of the 2008 season. And it was fun.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
No, it was at the end of the 2007
No, it was
season.
2008. Trust me on that.
No, because I
lived
went and
it.
covered that game.
You didn't go to Florida.
No, I covered the game at Arrowhead. It might have been 08, but I thought
it was 08 against Missouri.
Yeah.
We covered the state championship game. Wichita Heights was in it that year up in Emporia, and thought we'd have all kinds of time to get to Arrowhead. And we barely made it inside the stadium for the kickoff. Had to park on a median.
Pretty much, yeah. I was surprised the car was still there. Forgot the Heights element of it, though. Yeah, that's what
you saw firsthand what a dedicated reporter does that night. I showed you.
Well,
you didn't look for a parking space. You pulled up next to a tree. You turned the car off, and you got inside. Because your job was to get inside that stadium and bring the readers.
Let's add a little context, though. That wasn't your car. So if it had been towed, who cares?
Well, I'd had to deal with it.
Yeah.
It was a company car, but I would have had to deal with it.
But we would have just gone to that Hampton Inn or whatever was over there and dealt with it the next day. It would have been fun.
How would I have gotten to the Hampton Inn?
We would just walk.
Well, I pulled out. I got in my car.
Yeah, that's what happened. Still there. Probably not the most watched parking lot that night.
They understood. I got a job to do. You're not gonna look around for a open parking space. You're gonna take what you can get.
Right, there weren't any, and it took.
You would have panicked in that.
And it
situation.
took about an hour from entrance to parking.
You would have panicked in that situation.
I was panicking.
I was as cool as a cucumber.
Is that how you remember it?
Oh my God! Just as calm as you can be.
Yeah, that's...
I think I had a radio station on and singing.
When have you ever been calm in a situation like that?
You just relax.
Because I know you. Because we're the same. If you're an hour early, you're late, especially at a game like that. So yeah, we were barely there, and you were freaking out.
No, I had it under control, and we saw a heck of a game. Missouri took it to Kansas. And then Kansas ended up with the Orange Bowl.
Didn't make much sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Because Missouri got beat in the Big 12 title game or something.
Something like that. Although that was a Big 12, wasn't it?
No.
What was that?
It's just a game. Just a game.
Really?
Yeah.
Why was 7 million people there?
Because it was the border war, and that's what happened. Both teams were very good, and it was at Arrowhead.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. That's why those years I've always liked. I don't dislike football at all.
I don't dislike it,
but I'm sorry that you do.
There's nobody that's really that interesting. People talk about quarterbacks all the time like they're these like majestic nobody is that interesting.
Have you watched the college game? There's a bunch of great quarterbacks.
I'm talking about NFL right now.
So Mahomes isn't interesting?
Not really. I mean, he's a great player. His play is extremely interesting, but he's never said anything that has any cultural impact.
What do you want him to say?
I'm just saying he's not an interesting person.
Who is?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Are you? Do you think you're
If I was a big-time athlete,
you'd be the most boring.
I would say stuff.
You'd be the most boring. No, you wouldn't, because all your agent would tell you is don't offend anyone. I can make you $1 billion in endorsements.
I wouldn't say anything to offend anyone, but I'd just say a lot of stuff.
What would you say? Give me something.
Ask me, like, what's going on behind it. Give me a typical
Do you like your coach?
Give me a typical press conference question.
What's the atmosphere like around your team?
What's our record, sir?
Oh, that's interesting.
No, I want to know. I'm asking you.
7-2.
We're 7-2. So what do you think the atmosphere's like? We're having a good time. We wish we hadn't tripped up those couple times. We're in a good spot here.
Oh, that's compelling stuff. Well, I can't wait to get more. You know what I do as a reporter? I turn around and walk out the door.
I don't know what I'd say.
This clown's got nothing.
I don't know what I'd say because I don't know what would be happening. But
right.
I would tell you.
You're telling me how interesting you're going to be.
But I'd tell you what's happening. I wouldn't just say, we're getting along.
Okay, do this. You avoided that blitz. How'd that happen?
I'm a better athlete than him, and I kind of knew that it was coming. We had their signals. We had their signals.
Well, that brings about all kinds of questions.
We learned their signals over the week, and
you learned their signals.
Signals, yeah.
You can't even speak. Why am I going to talk to you?
Oh, I would be they'd be glued to me.
Oh, with those answers, I fail to see how in the world you can think that was interesting. I just don't get it.
No, I'm just saying. That would be my approach. I wouldn't be like, we're on to Cincinnati.
Well,
that wouldn't be me.
Good luck.
I wouldn't be Robert Saleh, barely able to form a sentence.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Shockers, Western Kentucky tomorrow night. Level of interest. I'm kind of interested.
About a 7, 8.
Now, here we are. We're in basketball season, and pretty much every game is accessible. You just got to have the right vehicle to get to it, right? ESPN Plus comes into play a lot now. So my wife's going to want to watch every game that Wichita State, Kansas, and K-State play. What do? I don't know if I can do that much.
Don't you have ESPN Plus?
Yeah, of course we do.
I don't have ESPN, so I need to figure out a solution.
Well, why don't you get ESPN?
My family didn't want to share their ESPN with us. It's bizarre. I didn't get that, but
What do you mean your family?
Like they've got like a direct TV subscription, so we just log in as that and we can watch ESPN.
Why don't they want to share it?
Their brother didn't want to give it to us.
Really?
Yeah, he declined.
Well, it's illegal.
No, everybody does it.
You can pay.
Do I need to pay to watch 15 Shocker games?
Yes, you do.
I'm just going to go to them.
Do you have a pass?
Yes.
How'd you get one?
I don't know. I just have one.
I declined my media pass this year.
You did?
Yes.
Well, then I didn't.
I don't know if I feel good about that or not. I enjoy watching the games with my wife and in the comfort of my chair. And I don't know what that means exactly, but that's kind of where I'm at.
I like it too, and it's also a really long drive, which doesn't help.
Just pay for ESPN so you can watch.
It's not paying for ESPN. It's paying for Sling TV, which is like $60 a month to get maybe 4 channels that I want to watch. So just give me your direct.
No, I'm not giving you any.
Give me your direct TV.
Not happening.
Just come on.
I pay a fortune, and I'm not. And I don't like freeloaders.
Oh, everybody does it.
No, I don't. You're a freeloader.
Yes, you do. You have my Peacock.
Take it.
Okay.
Take it. Seriously.
Right, I'll log out. How are we going to watch pay-per-views over here?
Take it.
How are we going to watch pay-per-views over here?
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried. You got Survivor Series coming up.
Take it away. I don't need it. I got enough anyway.
Good.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead and get ESPN Plus.
It's a lot of money, dude.
We watch ESPN Plus a lot.
I have ESPN Plus.
Then watch the Shockers.
I don't have ESPN.
You can't watch ESPN Plus without ESPN?
You can't watch ESPN on ESPN Plus.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The Plus is only the Plus stuff. ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, separate entities that you can only watch over the air.
It's not my
unless you have a television login, which
it's not my
you
worry.
would like to slide over to me, I would appreciate.
No, I'm not. I'm not ever doing that. That's
I
never
know.
going to happen.
Why?
Just not. Not something I do. I'm never going to do it.
But I don't get that.
People should pay for what they need and what they want. I'm not here to provide handouts.
You think Tony would give me a login?
No.
For work purposes?
He better not.
I'll ask.
I'll quit this show immediately.
I won't tell you, but I will.
I'll ask Tony.
No, that's between us.
If he gives you a login, I'm done.
Tony, email me the login information, please.
You're such a beggar. Do you have any pride?
Why would I? Why do I need pride?
Any kind of financial wherewithal of...
I bought a guy lunch today.
Who?
My friend Jason.
Jason
Smith. We've talked about him.
Oh, well, I'm sure he'd love to go to lunch with me, but I don't have time.
Okay, well, maybe.
I'm sure he talked about me.
No, he didn't.
My name wasn't brought up.
Not at all, no.
I completely...
He asked how your health was, so that was...
Oh, there you go.
I'm through trying to tell people what a lariat is. So that's on you from now.
I wish you wouldn't even say it on this show.
I'm sorry.
Nobody needs to know what I do.
Oh, okay.
Understand that, please.
I'm sorry.
You wouldn't enjoy that if I did it to you.
I apologize.
Please negate doing that.
I'm sorry.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk with our friend Mike Furches next.
In the business, including...
This is the Bob and Jeff Show on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mike Furches joins us. Happy to have Mike on.
I'm calling from deep in the bunker somewhere in Midtown Wichita.
Really? Well, now I'm curious.
I want to talk about something before I get into the controversy, but I've never been. I don't think felt like I've been attacked so much and put down. I told Max I'd have been better off talking negative against Jesus than to have ever said anything negative about Elvis Presley. It's been amazing.
Well, you did see the new movie about Priscilla Presley, and it's not very complimentary about Elvis.
Well, yes, I would say not complimentary at all about Elvis. I did like the movie. Sofia Coppola is she is an amazing female director that's been looked over far too many times when it comes to Academy Award wins as a director. And this is what people don't understand. She crafted a story off of a book that was written in the late 1980s. And very common knowledge. But anyway, I want to say something good before I get into all that, because I definitely have opinions about that and would glad to touch on those. So if I can, just to do that, folks, if you don't, you guys were talking about subscribing to services and stuff, Jeff or whoever, right now is the time to subscribe to Paramount Plus. Bass Reeves,
I have that.
Oh, man. Okay, if you haven't seen Bass Reeves yet, an incredibly historical figure in the history of African Americans and the American West that we never knew anything about until a number of years ago. I've been studying Bass Reeves for about 15, 20 years. And they've made movies about him where they touch on him here or there that are so-so, documentaries that are so-so. The Taylor Sheridan has done the new series, Bass Reeves Lawman, on Paramount Plus. It is spectacular. The first 2 episodes are out. The third one's getting ready to come out. And this guy, I tell people, some say that the Lone Ranger is loosely based off of Bass Reeves. I think that's questionable, but that's what some people say. And I would say that the story of Bass Reeves is far more intriguing than is the story of the Lone Ranger. But there are an awful lot of strange similarities between the two characters. First African-American marshal west of the Mississippi ever, and how he had to escape some abuse during the Civil War as a slave and went into Indian Territory in Oklahoma. Just fascinating stuff. And I don't know how Taylor Sheridan does it. He gets Hollywood caliber movie Oscar-winning actors to portray and present in his television series. And this one is no different without giving too much away. But well worth watching. And my wife, who's African-American, she didn't really know that much about Bass Reeves either, and is fascinated by the history. And she's asking herself the same question: why is our history books not talking more about this man? Some say quite possibly the best and person with the most integrity ever as a law official, as a lawman. So, great series. Taylor Sheridan's done it again. He's knocked this one out of the ballpark after the first 2 episodes. So that was my plug for that.
Well, you got me interested. Taylor Sheridan has an incredible track record, obviously, and this cast looks very good as well. So I'm in. I don't know about Jeff. I can't imagine Jeff watching this series.
Doesn't seem likely, but I won't completely eliminate the possibility.
Why wouldn't you watch it?
Because I'm not gonna watch shows like that usually. I don't watch a lot of heavy TV. Just like it light, man.
It's extremely entertaining, but it's a part of our history, especially in this. Oklahoma, Tulsa area is not far from Wichita, and this is where it all transpired. Is down in that area, down around Tulsa and Muskogee, and it's a fascinating story, especially when we're looking at an age and a time for looking at things like Black Lives Matters and trying to understand the African American community, and then to realize that this character was largely written off historically simply because he was black. It's amazing. I mean, it's just he was a man of integrity, and I hope the series goes into some of the stories. So far, they've been spot on with the real character. So, one I highly,
how do you say
highly
this
recommend.
actor's? How do you say the actor's last name that plays Bass Reeves?
He's helping to direct it as well, but I don't know how to say it. It's like an African name or something.
Do you know it, Jeff?
How is it spelled?
It's David Oyelowo.
No, I don't know.
Oyelowo. He's been nominated for quite a few awards. I've heard of him. He's played Martin Luther King in Selma, but I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and I'm looking forward to him becoming. I'm sure he'll become a big star with this series.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I mean, he seems like he would have become a big star after playing Martin Luther King in Selma, which was an unbelievable movie. But
well, he was unbelievable in that. I just can't remember how to say his name.
I don't know either.
And that's something about an actor. Most actors that have a name like his change their name, but he stuck with it. So, kudos to him for sticking to his roots and his heritage. So anyway, you ready to go?
I got to get back to the Priscilla Presley thing, and I know you got some heat, but that never deterred you before.
I've never got.
Well, you went into that movie expecting what?
Well, I went in wanting to see it. We had actually gone to see a movie the night before that I didn't want to see, and so we went back the next night to see it because I wanted. I like Sophia. I drew a blank on her last name. Coppola. I really like her direction in movies in the past, and people. This is what shocks me. I was an Elvis Presley fan. To this day, I will tell you, I don't know of anyone that has ever contributed to music the way that Elvis Presley did. I don't know of anyone that made a major impact on music the way he did. He is one. I think he and Michael Jackson are more than likely the best two entertainers ever in music. And so I have an appreciation. I actually saw Elvis 3 times, and I'm not taking any of that away. I did not know the depth of his darkness, though. And apparently that depth, I've done a ton of research because I took so much heat. And and I'm still taking heat for it, as you guys well know. I didn't know the depth, and so I started doing the research. And there was someone that brought up one individual, and I did some research this afternoon on the one individual and then had a response from Jeff about that. It is nowhere near even close to the consistency and the amount of documentation related to Elvis Presley. We know for a fact that Priscilla was 14 when he started having desires for her and that he was 24. We know that he basically more or less paid off the father for her to come to America as a minor. We know for a fact that Elvis Presley, for a period of time in his 30s, was allowing 14 and 15-year-old females to travel with him on his tour bus. And he admitted publicly of cuddling and kissing and kidding around with the girls. So there were issues there. His temper is extremely well documented, with even certain things on video of him displaying his temper. And so in those regards, I lost respect. And Priscilla, I've been criticized for this because as far as some people's concerned, she's nothing but a money digger, and I disagree with that. But that said, I've always had a measure of respect for her, primarily that comes from a business perspective of how she held the Elvis Presley estate together after he died. And it's made more money after he died than it did while he was alive because of her leadership in the Elvis Presley estate. And for her to endure, I come from a broken family and saw my mother abused in the 1950s, 1960s. I've had so many people say, well, that was just the time and the era. No, it wasn't. That was never an excuse. It's never been an excuse to beat a woman. It's never been an excuse to abuse a woman, I feel, the way that he abused her. I've got a daughter. I love my daughter. I've got a daughter-in-law. I've got granddaughters. And I raised my female daughters. I want my wife to have her own career, to have her own voice. And I believe that in today's age, to take a voice away from women or to say that they're just money diggers, I think is a disservice to women. And I'm sticking to it. I'm not going to walk away from my beliefs in that Elvis is someone that I actually have less respect for. And I encourage people to see the movie or read the book that was written, if I'm not mistaken, in 1987. It's just not a new thing. It's just new that it came to the screen. So I find it amazing at how we turn our idols sometimes into gods and put them up on pedestals of worship and refuse to accept that they're weak and they were human just like we were, and in some cases worse than we are. So that's my 2 cents.
That's a lot, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, I saw on your Facebook page somebody responded that, well, check out Don Henley back in the 70s when he had an underage girl at a pool party. My understanding of that is that Don Henley wasn't even aware. Now, maybe I'm naive, but that never really turned into a whole lot. It did certainly make the news at that time. But I mean,
we're not talking about anything sexual. It was about drugs.
Yeah, there were drug issues at the time, and who knows what to think about it? A lot of this stuff, you get a lot of different versions. I'm not saying Priscilla Presley isn't on the up and up. I'm with you, but
in the movie though, Bob, I gotta say this that she admits to cheating on a test to graduate high school. She admits to doing drugs. She doesn't paint herself with the most rosy of pictures either, but she overcame, and there's a difference.
Absolutely, no doubt. So you're about to begin on your Christmas time folly, aren't you?
Yeah, I've already started. I started on Sunday, and I'll be leaving right after a conversation. I'll be reporting tonight at 5 o'clock. So I'll be there from 5 till 9 tonight.
And we can say this, right? I don't think we have a strong audience of 8 and under.
I don't know, man.
What?
If you have a child
Should
8
I
and
not
under,
say anything?
please turn the volume down. Right now.
If you're driving around with a child 8 and under, distract them for a moment. I think I've indicated what Mike does.
Yeah,
if you know Mike and you've seen a photo of Mike, it would make no sense if he didn't do this.
That's right.
At Christmas time.
So I have the pleasure of presenting the spirit of Santa Claus and St. Nicholas. And for the last number of years, quite a few years, I've done that at Bass Pro and Cabela Shops. And they are
I just feel like we ruined it for...
Well,
what do the kids think when they find out Santa has a thick Southern accent?
Well, there's a South Coast Santa too, Jeff. Don't forget that.
Fair enough.
It's great that you do that. I'm sure you bring a lot of joy and festivity to Christmas for kids, and that's what it's all about. We appreciate you coming on with us. We hope to talk with you soon, Mike, okay?
Okay, take care, guys. Talk later.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, Mike Furches, who's with us on a weekly basis. And I believe next Wednesday, is our third Wednesday. That's our top 10 Wednesday.
It's already the third Wednesday.
Yeah.
I hope to be here.
Today was the second Wednesday, which means my Social Security check
Social Security.
arrived in my bank account today. That's always a nice little.
Do you know why Election Day wasn't on?
Does that irritate you that my Social
Never mind.
Security?
No.
You're good with it.
Yeah.
Why'd you mock it on our intro or our promo?
Because it's fun. That's what we do on the show.
I mean, I'm proud to get the check.
Get yours, man.
Appreciate it.
You know what? That's kind of like a handout. Like
No,
maybe,
I worked
like
many,
maybe
many,
given-
many, many years for that.
Yeah, and you got compensated, but
and put into the Social Security fund every paycheck.
sure.
We had a withdrawal that went into Social Security, and
Seems kind of like a beggar activity, but I'm not going to say
well,
anything.
you know what? I gave a lot of money
We're happy
to
for you.
Social Security over the years, and now I get to reap some of that for a while. Knock on wood, hopefully for a while.
Absolutely.
869-1240. All right, we've got the Shocker women weighing in with a win this afternoon at Coke Arena over Presbyterian. They won that game handily, 60-41. Presbyterian shooting 3 of 27. That must have been pleasant.
Not good.
Shockers 1 of 13 from the three-point line, so 4 of 40 overall in that game.
Yikes.
So the noise you heard was rims breaking. But a good first win for Terry Nooner.
Yeah, they
Wichita
hung with
State
Oklahoma.
until the third quarter.
Right. They were ahead at halftime, which is pretty impressive.
Until the third quarter.
And then it fell apart.
Yeah, until the third quarter.
They led at halftime
Yeah, until
in
the third
Norman.
quarter they were good.
Right. But I'm telling you,
Then the third quarter
didn't we
happened.
expect them to go in and beat Oklahoma?
No,
But you
not
can
until
build
the third
off,
quarter.
You can build off going into Oklahoma and leading at halftime.
And Ron Washington has been named the manager of the Los Angeles Angels, which is interesting. Ron Washington, of course, led Texas to the World Series in 2011 and had been the third base coach for the Atlanta Braves. Not a young guy.
In his mid-70s, right?
He got hired because of what Bruce Bochy just accomplished and what Dusty Baker has accomplished. He can thank those two guys. The
Maybe.
Angels trying to capture lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, maybe. I
Not
don't know.
maybe.
I think it's a bigger loss for Atlanta, perhaps, than it's a gain for the Angels.
That's not a maybe. The Angels are trying to say, listen, we don't want to hire a young guy.
Bruce Bochy had 3 rings, and Dusty Baker was brought in to stabilize.
Ron Washington's a stabilizer.
This isn't a stable franchise.
Listen, pal.
That's
They
not going
brought
to be
him in
stable.
for one reason, his experience.
Oh, I
They
hear
could've
you.
gone and gotten your analytics guy. Well, his spin rate doesn't look good enough for us, Jimmy. And
that will probably lead to some level of failure then.
and instead
If he
what
doesn't
they
have a
did
good
is they
spin
went
rate.
and got a baseball guy who
Who's
recognizes spin rate without it being shoved down his throat.
What's a good spin rate on a fastball?
I know it when I see it.
Okay, so you see it spinning.
Yes.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I can see a ball spin.
That's like Superman stuff. You
Well, that's
just
what you do. You look
slow
at a
it
ball
down.
and you see it spinning.
I guess.
That's what the successful people do.
So, data, just nothing for you?
I'll look at it, put it on my desk. If I get to it before lunch, I'll let you know.
Okay. It's just information, man. You don't have to be threatened by it.
Not threatened by any information.
Just information.
Look at all the information surrounding me right now. Oodles of information.
I guess.
I like information. I read about it. I look at it.
Then why don't you
I
appreciate
study
it?
I do. I like it.
You just mocked it. You can either...
Because I know it gets you going.
Well, it's irritating.
And it's so fun.
Because I don't know why someone who likes baseball wouldn't want to know more about it.
It's so much fun to get you wired up.
Well, I think it's pretty cool, actually. When I'm in the press area, official scoring, there's a guy with the Twins organization, hired by the Twins, to do that kind of stuff, to log the spin rate. It's immediate. It's crazy. And you get speed of pitch, you get launch angle, you get distance immediately. And I don't know how that works, but it's amazing.
Well, just sit down and talk to the guy. I'll be the guy. Ask me a question.
No, I know there are cameras out there, but I don't know how it's.
No, you're sitting down by the guy,
and he's my friend, Jason.
I'm gonna be the guy. You ask me a question.
That's Jason over there that does it. Sometimes Rich, but I know both of those guys, and we have plenty of conversations. That's why I like being in there.
Hi, Jeff. Do you like my pencil protector?
Oh, please, because the conversations are always about baseball. Right?
Not about pencil protector.
In the control room, never about baseball. When I did music, nobody wanted to talk about baseball because they were production people. They weren't baseball people. I like being with the baseball people.
You consider me a baseball person?
Well, yeah.
Well, then quit talking about what I don't appreciate.
Well, I
appreciate it all.
Be a better baseball person.
I'm into baseball, as you should know. I'm the reason you're into baseball.
Well, I guess.
No, there's no guess.
I mean, it just so happened.
No.
Like, I could have been born to someone else and been into what they were.
Right. I'm into baseball because my father was into it. And I developed a passion for baseball at a very young age.
As did I.
So I was younger.
No, you weren't.
Of course I was.
No, you absolutely weren't. I was into the Cardinals with you from a very early age.
Well, we don't need to get into all that.
I drifted away.
And here I am still immersed in baseball all these years later, both for enjoyment and for occupation. And that's the way it is. Do you have any parting thoughts?
Not really.
Give me a parting thought.
Trying to figure out who to...
three-man booth tomorrow.
Trying to figure out who should be next on my Channel 12 podcast.
Who's it going to be?
I don't know. I texted Ron Baker, but I haven't heard back.
He didn't text me back.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care how big you are in this community, you better text me back.
It doesn't hurt.
You don't have to text me back. But I'd appreciate it.
I like when people text back. It's a nice gesture.
It's a polite thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about Ron Baker on a podcast. Who else? I do want to hear, but you can. There's got to be.
Well, give me an idea of a topic you'd like to hear more about.
No, you come up with.
Because it's hard for me to come up with it because that's not my job. My job is to run the digital side of KWC.
Well, you asked for this.
No, I did not.
Well, then you better do it well.
I'm gonna.
Think, man. You're 3 podcasts in, and you're already struggling?
I'm not struggling. I'm just trying to figure out the direction.
Figure it out.
Well, if Ron Baker's too high of a aspiration.
He's not too high of an aspiration.
Who's there? Who should
He's
it
not
be?
too high of an aspiration.
Well,
Joe Hour should be your next podcast.
Well, Joe Hour will be on the podcast.
You should finish the story you were going to do about it.
I should.
You should own up. Make it right with Joe.
I love Joe.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You're not showing it.
I love Joe. Joe's one of my favorite people
Make it right
ever.
with Joe Hour.
By having him on the podcast?
And writing about it. A double hit.
We'll see.
We'll get Joe on this show soon as high school basketball begins its preparation Monday. Practices begin. All right, thanks for listening today. We will be back with Duda tomorrow, the 3-man booth. Hope you'll listen. Take care.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep the same. Shouldn't your pillow be as unique as you are? Enter the adjustable pillow by Coop Sleep Goods. Each pillow contains removable memory foam filling, so you can fine-tune the perfect amount of support for your ideal sleep. With GreenGuard Gold certification, Coop's pillows are rigorously tested, free of harmful chemicals, hypoallergenic, and machine washable. Whether you sleep like a log or asleep like a rock, you're a small person or a tall person, a back sleeper or a belly sleeper, a sleepwalker, a sleep talker, a chronic cuddler, or a solo sleeper. Coop celebrates you and the way you sleep. With a 100-night trial, free shipping, and over 50,000 5-star reviews, it's a no-brainer. Visit CoopSleepGoods.com to get your best rest so you can live your dreams today.